Well, namaste to all of you, and welcome to part 3 of our Gentle Flow series for beginners. My name is Justin. This is the Strength, Yoga, and Freedom YouTube channel. You may notice the background's a little different. We're switching up our filming, the way we're filming things in here today. And starting in our next video, we'll be having some new equipment coming up. So we're just making some adjustments here. So thank you for bearing with us. We're going to have some new audio, some new video coming up on our next video that comes out, our next class, which will be coming out in a couple of weeks. So please stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, we're here at our third part of this Gentle Flow series. So part 1 was all about grounded poses. Part 2, we talked about standing poses. Today, we're going to combine them both into a grounded and a standing flow. So we're going to take a little bit of both. And of course, we will release at the end with a little back bending and a little hip opening just to get some full body in for us. So let's begin our practice in a child's pose, meaning we're going to bring the knees out towards the outer edges of the mat and the toes to touch. Sit back onto your heels and reach forward, bowing. Maybe your forehead releases to the mat. Maybe you'd like to place your hands underneath your forehead. It doesn't matter. Allow the practice to be about you, what you need, and know that even as a beginner or as a seasoned yogi, every time you come back to your mat, it's a chance to begin again. So if any of the poses we do in this practice do not feel good for you, you can return back here to child's pose. You can lay on your belly. You can lay on your back. You can pause and come back to the video anytime. Take a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's do that again. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Do that again. In. Open your mouth. Let's make our way to table pose. So press into your hands and lift up. Stacking the hands underneath the shoulders and the hips right underneath your knees, rather, right underneath your hips. And let's move into a cow pose. Lift your chin, drop your belly. And then round your back, pull your chin in, cat pose. As the microphone likes to sometimes go real close to my mouth, so I apologize when that happens and it gets loud. Hence why we're doing some upgrading with our equipment. Hey, we all got to start somewhere, right? That's why we're here doing beginner's work. And so we're moving slowly here. So this is not about specific audio quality or video quality. It will enhance things, but it's also more about being where we are and present. As we move the body through these cows and cat poses, one more round, we'll take a cow pose in an inhale and a cat pose on an exhale. Now come back to table pose. And then let's curl the toes under and make our way to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog means maybe we place the hands about shoulder width distance apart. We also take the feet about maybe hip width distance apart. Maybe your heels start to lift and then you lower them. Your heels do not have to touch the mat. But let's go ahead and allow the heels to go to the left. So just allow the heels to drop over to your left. Create a little stretch. You'll feel this in your left side body along with your legs. Come back to the center and then go to the right, feeling that stretch as well. Back to center, downward facing dog. And then we're going to walk the feet up towards the hands, coming into a ragdoll pose. Ragdoll is a forward fold. Now you can bend your knees a lot here and grab opposite elbows with opposite hands. Just hang heavy with your head and neck Nice and loose here. Maybe sway side to side. Maybe, again, bend your knees a lot if you need to, right? It's even okay to kind of crouch down. It's all about release. Release your hands down to the mat. Find a halfway lift. Inhale your breath. And then take a forward fold. Exhale your breath. Stand up. Push into your feet. Rise. Reach. And then grab your left wrist with your right hand and pull your left arm to the right. Come back to center. Let's switch directions. Pull your right wrist to your left. Come back to center. Bring your hands through your heart center and fold forward. Bend your knees if you need to fold. Halfway lift. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Look between your hands and step your right foot in between your hands. Lower your left knee. We're going to take an easy twist, but a modified version. Reach the right hand high, opening up through this right side body. And then bring this right hand down. Staying in this low lunge position, we'll rise up to a kneeling crescent. Shift the hips forward and the shoulders back. Breathe in and breathe out. One more. Inhale. And then on your exhale, hands come down to the mat. Lift up your left knee and step your right foot back. Downward facing dog. Left side, look forward and step your left foot there. We're in a low lunge again, but we're lowering that knee down. Keeping this lunge, we make our way to easy twist, reaching up through the left side. And then bring your left hand down to the mat. Lift up your right knee. Oh, I'm sorry. Keep the right knee down. We're going to that kneeling crescent. Kneeling crescent it is. Now the hands will come down to the mat and we'll lift up this back knee and step back, downward facing dog. Beautiful job. Take a breath in and then take a breath out. And then we're going to do that one more time, except we're going to move it with one breath and one movement. So inhale, look forward. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Inhale, lower your left knee. Exhale, right hand high. Inhale, right hand down. Exhale, kneeling crescent. Pause here. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, left foot steps forward. Inhale, lower your knee. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to low lunge. Exhale, kneeling crescent. Pause, inhale. Exhale, down dog. Beautiful. Big inhale. And a big exhale. Let's add on here. Look forward. Step forward. Left knee lowers. Easy twist. Bring it back down. Kneeling crescent. Hands come down to the mat. Lift up your left knee. This time, though, step forward into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up. Now, exhale, pull that left wrist over to your right. Inhale, center. Exhale to your left. Beautiful. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause. We begin again. Look forward. Left foot steps forward. Lower the right knee. Twist it out. Left hand comes down. Kneeling crescent. Both hands come down. Lift up your right knee. Step up. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Rise to stand. Reach. Grab that left wrist. Here we go. Over to the right. You know where we're going. Back to center. And over to your left. Back to center. Fold. Halfway lift. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. You guys got this. Beautiful job. Breathe in. Breathe out. We're going to go one more time and add on one more thing. So look forward. Step the right foot forward. Lower your left knee. Modified twist right here. Right hand comes down. Kneeling crescent. Both hands come down. Lift up your left knee. Step up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. We're reaching up and standing up. Grabbing that left wrist. Here we go. To the right. Back to center. To the left. Now reach up high. Inhale your breath. And then exhale, open twist to your right. So open your arms up wide and pause. We're combining things we've done in the first two videos into this flow right here. Now reach up to the center and go to your left. Reach up again to the center. Big reach. Fold. Halfway lift. Downward facing dog. Begin again, left foot steps forward. Lower that right knee, twisting to your left. Left hand comes down, kneeling crescent. Hands come back down. Pick up your right knee and step up. Fold. Halfway. Fold. Reach up as we prepare for those lateral leans. Grab your left wrist, creating so much space in this practice. Center, grab your right wrist, go to your left. Center, now open twist to your left. So send your left arm behind you and your right arm in front. Reach up, go to your right. Reach up again. And fold. Halfway. Downward dog. Beautiful. Nice work, everyone. Pausing here in a child's pose. Lower the knees and sink back onto the heels. Pausing. Slow down your breath. I'm going to teach you two standing poses from the ground up that are a little bit more than what we've done in these first few videos, and then we'll move into some release. So let's make our way through table back to downward facing dog pose. We're going to set up right side warrior one. So look between your hands and step your right foot there just like you did before, except this time dial your left heel down onto the mat so that your back foot is at about a 45-degree angle. So now you're in this weird, awkward runner's lunge with the left foot down. And you're going to use that core to lift and the strength of your legs to lift up and reach your arms up to the sky, warrior one. So shift your right hip back and your left hip forward and reach your arms up. Beautiful. It doesn't matter if you have all that positioning perfect. What matters is that you feel okay in the hips, that you're using the strength of your legs, your core, and all of this upper body, as well as the strength of your arms to lift yourself up, and that you're not dumping into the knees and hips that would look like this. That's dumping. So keep a nice strong foundation and just reach up. One more inhale. And then exhale to warrior two, which means we're just going to open up towards the left side of your space. Your feet are about where they were before. I have to sometimes bring my right foot towards the left side of the mat, and that's okay. Keeping this 90-degree bend here in this right leg. And again, using the core and the strength of your arms to reach, not dumping into the hips so we look like that. We are really using good alignment for safety. So as long as you're into that core, that's what's important. One more breath in. Hands will cartwheel down. We'll step our way back to downward facing dog. Look between your hands and we'll go to the left side. Now step your left foot forward. Dial your right heel down and use the strength of your legs and your core to rise up to Warrior One. This is a strong pose. It requires the energy from the fingertips, from the arms, from the core, from the legs, from the feet all the way up, nice and grounded. Warrior Two, let's open up so that the shoulders relax as well. And we're really diving in again to the core, the center line, the center of you, right here. Breathing. 2 more. 1 more breath in. Downward dog. Cartwheel those hands, step back. Shift forward into a plank of your choice. You can stay here in high plank or lower those knees and then lower all the way down to the mat. Let's take Sphinx pose. So bring the arms to about shoulder width distance so that the elbows might slightly graze your rib cage, but maybe not. You can even walk them forward slightly to have less of a back bend, or bring them closer to you for even more of a back bend. You can also lift up your feet. That will intensify your back bend, or you can move into seal pose, which means you'll take the hands on the outside of your mat and the legs will come out a little wider and you'll lift up your elbows. So any of those options, play around and then settle into where it feels good for you as we bend into the back here. So that little flow we created, that kneeling crescent with the twist and doing a little bit of sun salutations all mixed into one, was a gentle way to open your body up by tapping into a little bit of muscle, a little bit of opening, a little bit of stability, which prepared you for Warrior One and Warrior Two, which require a little more muscle, but also they require softening. And so revisit this video anytime you want to realign to those foundational poses in a gentle way. You might see the sun is here in this room. Maybe today you take a few moments to allow that sun to permeate against your skin. I purposely kept the blinds open in this room to allow this sun to be on me as I practice, because it really does invigorate, not only from the outside, the sensory experience, but from the inside as well. We're going to be here for about 3 more breaths here in Sphinx, or if you're in Seal, any of those, or your feet are up, any of those versions. If it's too much, just place your forehead down on the mat or on your hands like this for crocodile pose. Sphinx pose, or the extended Sphinx with the feet up or the legs out for Seal, is very, very healthy for your low back, for your lumbar spine. And we're going to release this pose after we take 1 more breath in. And we exhale by slowly allowing the body to release to the mat. Windshield wiper your legs from right to left. And then slowly we're going to begin to make our way to a seat. So lift your way up. First though, let's take a upward facing dog. So we worked on this on the last video, but take your toes long. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. They're right next to your rib cage here. You're going to press into the top of your feet and slowly lift up your upper body first. Engage the core so that your entire upper legs, the upper part of your legs lifts, your thighs lift off the floor. And roll over the toes to downward dog so we can lower the knees. And we're going to come to that seated position. I'm going to turn and face the camera. You can stay facing the front or back of your space, wherever you are, but I'll face you so you can see me. We're going to begin in a square pose for our hips today, or a fire log. This is also called fire log pose. We're going to go ahead and take this right leg on top of the left. Now, if this does not feel comfortable for you, you can take your right leg in front of your left leg. If you have a block and maybe you feel lopsided, maybe you place a block under your right knee. That's if you feel lopsided. So have a nice tall spine, and then with this tall spine, reach forward like so, reach towards the front of your room, and begin to fold forward with your chest and your chin, not with your forehead. So we want to avoid tucking the chin to the chest here and rounding the back. We want to keep a straight spine and fold forward over your legs, right? You're just hinging at the hips, hinge and fold. You'll feel the opening in the right and the left hip. You can even take a block and place your forearms on top of it if that feels good. Allowing the opening to settle into your body. Slowing down, pausing. Just notice. Be the observer of what you're feeling. Slowly lift your way back up into a seat. We're going to switch legs, meaning we'll take the right leg off of the left and we'll put the left leg on top of the right. For a seated tree, sitting up nice and, I'm sorry, not seated tree, double pigeon. That's where we're going next, is seated tree. Double pigeon or fire log pose. And we'll start to walk forward again, keeping the chin forward, chest forward, hinging rather than curling. When I call poses out in classes that are upcoming, that we haven't gotten to yet, I always say you are stepping inside the mind of a yoga teacher who's always thinking about what's coming next. So I can't help sometimes but to blurt out what I'm thinking about what's coming next sometimes when I'm teaching, which is why I said seated tree, because that's what I was planning on us doing next. So it's a good way to keep ourselves present, right? It's a good way to remember that even though we have to, especially as a teacher, even if you're not teaching fitness related classes, you're doing something that's any kind of teaching or training related, you're always thinking about what's coming next. And that's important to do, but then it's really important to remind yourself to back up and remain present before making the move to the next step, because you're still here in this pose. For just a few more breaths, and then we're going to exit here. So let's start to make our way out by walking back, and then let's extend the legs long. Pause for a moment, just to let them extend long. Excuse me. And then we're going to go ahead and leave the right leg long and bring this left foot into the right thigh. Sometimes this is referred to as a half butterfly or half dragonfly, also seated tree. So a dragonfly would be both legs out and you fold over each one. If you do tree pose standing up, this is what it would look like, except you're balancing on one leg. Of course, butterfly would be bringing both feet together. So there's all those different versions, and we explore them all on this channel, so please be sure to keep watching our videos. We're going towards the right foot. We're going to do the same thing, reaching forward instead of reaching up. Sometimes we have the tendency to want to reach up, and then we curl and we go in. We're going to reach forward. So reach forward and lean forward. Lean, 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 and then fold. Feel the way that that affects the back of your right leg. That's kind of the target area here, is all this back leg from your heel all the way up into your right glute. If it's too much on the back of your knee, bend your knee or put a block there, or anything you have that's sturdy. You can use anything, a book. Maybe if you have a DVD, I have some DVDs here, you can always stack those up there. Something that's sturdy. And let's come back up and switch sides. So now lengthen out your left leg and bring your right foot in towards your left leg. Turn and face your left leg. Reach forward, lean forward, and fold. It doesn't matter if you can touch your toes. It has no bearing on this pose. Yoga is not about, even though there's a common misconception out there that you have to be flexible to do yoga, that's just certainly not true. In fact, I was never flexible. I was never able to touch my toes. And I've been doing yoga now for many, many years, and I now am able to, and I'm grateful for that, but that's not the be-all, end-all of yoga. Some students can bring their whole torso down to their left leg. That I cannot. So it just depends on your body. It has nothing to do with flexibility, so that has to come out of your vocabulary. That you can't do yoga because you're not flexible. We're going to come back to a seat, and now we're going to make our way down onto our backs. We will be taking a butterfly, a Supta Baddha Konasana, but first just a little counter movement. So come down onto your back, and then just do some light bicycling forward, very light. You don't need to engage your core here. You're just working through the legs, the hips, all the areas you've just worked. And then bring the soles of your feet together and let the knife edges fall down onto the mat while your knees fall out into Supta Baddha Konasana or a reclined butterfly position. Beautiful work today, combining all of the standing and grounded poses and the release poses we're doing, making well-rounded practice for you. Now take your hands to your thighs and bring your knees together. And then if you do have a block, you can take the block underneath your low back or just your hands. So you can take your hands and kind of stack them on top of each other or put them next to each other and put them under your low back or a block. And we're going to take a waterfall pose, which means the legs just go straight up. Now, if you're near a wall and you want to put your legs on the wall, this pose is called legs up the wall. So you can put your legs up the wall. It's also called waterfall. But literally, you can place the legs on the wall. Just let this reverse blood flow work for you. And if you are practicing with sunlight, this is a part of the practice that you will notice a change in the temperature of your body in how the sun is hitting you, or any kind of light is hitting you. Slowly begin to bring your legs down and move your knees into your chest. You're welcome to remove that block. We're going to move into our supine twists by extending the arms out long on each side of you and let your knees fall over to the right. Glance over the left side of your body, if that's possible, to create more of a twist. And then let's switch sides. The knees will come through center and over to the left as you maybe look over to your right. Slowly bring the knees back into the center for one final hug. So wrap your arms around your legs and bring maybe your chin or nose into your knees. And then we'll extend everything long and expand the body for our Savasana, our final pose, our resting pose. Take a breath in and release. Just be calm, surrender, be still. Bring your awareness back to the physical body, making any movements in your body that might feel good for you. Maybe you just roll your ankles or you roll out your wrists. And then we'll roll on to the right or left side body. You can bring your feet to the mat to start that movement and then roll. I like to take the arm. I'm going to my left, so my left arm will be a pillow. Maybe yours will too. Let's make our way up to a seat. Bring your hands into your heart center and bow your chin to your fingertips with gratitude for this practice, for the strength, yoga, and freedom community that is watching and taking this practice with you, for the space you're able to practice in. Now lift up your thumb knuckles to your third eye center, right in your forehead. As we honor this practice, we bow forward and say, Namaste. Well, my gratitude to everyone who completed this three-part yoga for beginners, gentle yoga flow for beginners series. I hope that you learned a little something from this, and please go back and repeat any episodes that you need to, any classes that you need to, so that you have the foundations and you can build from them to move into different practices. We have all kinds of practices on this channel, and we'll be back soon on this channel in a couple weeks with, as I mentioned, some improved video and audio and some space changes, just making changes and moving forward, turning the pages in each chapter, right? That's what we do in yoga. So until then, please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked the series or this video in particular, and I will see you all on our next video on your mat. Thank you, everyone.